Now, this is a sick matchup. This is like a really ridiculously good matchup for so early in the tournament. What are we in? The round of 16, I want to say. Or maybe it's the round of 8. Maybe I was wrong there. Either way, this is a round of 4 to finals match for sure. So MaxPax in the bottom right, Solar in the top left. One of the best Zergs against one of the best Protosses. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. This should just be a great, great match. This is what it's all about right here. So, probe coming up for that hatchery denial, and Solar gonna just barely get it down. Doesn't get NA'd there. The probe coming up for a little bit of harassment, so that's good. Like, Solar has to be pretty happy that he gets his hatch down in time, doesn't have to put it elsewhere, because the harassment, the multitasking that we see from MaxPax is really second to none. He's excellent at Protoss multitask. I'm excited to see what he does. Like, I think he's just going to open, like, Oracle Adept, third base, Stalker, fourth, while putting pressure on. He's very good at that type of play, so I'm kind of assuming that we'll see that. You know, we saw Applejuice do something kind of similar, but he went into the Colossi on 3 base instead of continuing to expand and try to hit an actual timing attack. I think that against Solar is pretty hard. So we have the cybernetics core on the way. This is the worst part of PvZ. It's like you literally sit here and wait for that cybernetics core to finish. I talk about it so often because there's just like... I find it to be a little bit funny that they boosted it to 12 workers to try to speed up the early game where we don't have anything to say, but it just pushed that all back and we still have as much early game where there's not much to say as we did before. And now the game is more mineral-based than it was before. So, and there's no real crazy rushes. So, I don't know. I think about it every PvZ that I cast, which is a lot, about how that absolutely didn't do it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I love where StarCraft 2's at. I do think it would be a better game. I've talked about this so many times. I think it'd be a better game if we started with 6 workers instead of 12. Just without any doubt. Okay, so we do have that Stargate on the way. A Stalker coming up here as well. Adept going across the map for MaxPax. And let's see, it should be an Oracle, I would imagine. I mean, it could be something else, but that'd be a little bit surprising. Oracle gets started. Adept just ranging about a little bit, getting some scouting done, making sure everything looks pretty normal. Overlord pushed over to the pillar, so I imagine he'll bring the Oracle up to get the kill on that Overlord. You know, right now with the Adept up in the front, you know there's no Lings on the way, so this is the perfect time to utilize that Stalker instead of being in the wall to go ahead and kill the Overlord. And that is what MaxPax is going to end up doing here. Yeah, not going to quite get away there, are you? Few Lings coming over to try to punish this, but they're not going to be able to. He'll get back in the wall in time. And that is a nice and fast third base right there. The Oracle continues to fly out. Second Oracle pops. Notice how Solar's not committing to any more Lings. He's saying, no, I believe that you can hold that third. I don't think I can force a cancel. I think he's right on that. Look at that. Forcing a couple of spores there so that the drones don't end up dying. Oracle going to get out without losing any hull damage. All right, 1, 2, ooh, 3. Nice. Nice. Okay, that was good. But yeah, pretty much par for the course. This is not enough damage for us to say that like MaxPax is in the lead or anything. It's expected that you're going to lose 2 drones, 3 drones, something like that. The harassment has been okay so far. Some Adepts coming up now as well. See if he's able to do something there. You know, sometimes the Adepts can tank some shots there and, you know, it just kind of can overwhelm a position occasionally. There are a few Speedlings out, a few more being made as well. Twilight Forge on the way, so that should be for Blink and +1, although we have seen some interesting later glaive builds recently. All right, rotating out. 5 adepts now. +1 melee on the way. I do like the +1 melee. Blink and 3 more gates coming up. Another gate. Okay. Yeah, good cancel there. Continuing to get those scouts down. A lot of lings actually being made right now. That's more lings than I expected. 22 more lings. All right, flying up here and does pick a queen. Ling's coming for the surround, so he just turns on the Oracle to try to get those extra kills. Pulls back the very hurt Oracle, goes after the queen, but a nice transfuse there. Good micro on both sides, but overall feels like Solar got a little bit ahead there. But not dramatically, because, you know, when you're making this many lings, that he could have had some amount of drones and less lings. But, you know, you've cleared a lot of those adepts as well. Now, there is that 4th nexus. See, now this is going to be what we're looking at here is the difference basically between what Applejuice was doing and what MaxPax is doing. So you can see Applejuice at this point had switched over into heavy robo production. There is double robo production coming up for MaxPax, but he's pushing it back a little bit and getting that 4th base a bit quicker. So just kind of showing you the difference, right? From like top of the world play to top of the ladder play. And yeah, the 4th base basically allows you to just continue with that unit production. Because if you're not getting that 4th, instead, if you're like, okay, I'm going to spend all of my minerals on getting stalkers. Okay, well, here's a question for you, right? If you're trying to hit a timing attack here, like, okay, I mean, it's a reasonable strategy. You can do it. You can do it. But how much does setting up an extra base actually cost? Well, you are going to make a few more workers for sure, right? 66 probes is a 3-base full saturation, so you're going to make a little bit more than that. You don't necessarily need to go to, like, you know, 88 probes because you're starting to run out of patches elsewhere, but let's call it mid-70s. And then a nexus and, you know, maybe a pylon, a battery, that type of thing. Maybe you build more gateways over there. Well, you're actually increasing your economy a lot. And it doesn't cost that much. It's like, what, 1 round of stalkers? If you put 1 round of stalkers back into your economy, you're going to have that 4th base. So it's like, okay, you have to do the math. Like, is that 1 round of stalkers going to allow me to break my opponent here? And at many levels, it actually will. But at this very top level, that actually becomes a more risky play than taking the 4th base. I hope that this has been informative for people. I think it's nice to watch those 2 matches right in a row and look how they differ and look why they differ and try to think for yourself on the math of it, of like, okay, what is good here? Or what should we be going for here? Anyways, MaxPax maintains pressure here. What he's trying to make sure happens is that he does not lose his army. He can take a little damage. He can lose a unit here and there. But notice how he's going up. He's hitting. He's not overcommitting on creep. He has things like stasis wards to retreat back. It's not a full committal. And during this, he has that 4th base up. He's making these colossi. Again, the push not going to be quite as fast as it could have been. But he's keeping the pressure on. He's making sure that it's not just nonstop droning or anything. Now, I do want to mention MaxPax made a hell of a lot of probes. I was saying that he could stay on mid-70s, but he has actually gone up to 86. So he has slight oversaturation, which actually isn't bad in StarCraft 2. That's something that we actually did the math on when Alpha Star was around. It says, like, oh, you should have, you know, so many probes in the minerals, like 16 probes, right? But if you put more, you do mine more. It's not the same as like Brood War. And Brood War, the more you put, it's like I forget the word for it, but the money goes up quite a bit more. Whereas in StarCraft 2, it goes up a little bit, but not quite as much. That's why we normally see 16 per base, but you can oversaturate and get value out of it. Now, here are those Vipers. They grab a couple Colossi, pull them forward. Now, this is not the end of the world because we have that 4th base, right? He still has a couple Colossi in here. they can still be utilized. You know, they may get yanked. That's probably how they will end up dying. But he's getting into his Psy Storm. He's making Immortal. I'm surprised he's actually making a third Colossus. It seems as if that might be like a defensive choice here based on the fact that Solar has been upgrading his Zerglings and really does like a Lingbane Roach type of very strong army at this point in the game. He does do some very aggressive attacks. And they are very oftentimes like flooded with Lings. So it is a little bit surprising though, right? Because once Vipers are out, normally you don't see any Colossus production. But he does add that one more. Anyways, Aspire on the way. I also saw an Immortal made, which is not... Immortal doesn't feel super great here. Again, another good thing to abduct for that Viper. And obviously it doesn't deal good damage to everything you see here. But it's still just a good unit. Even against things it wasn't made to counter, it does well. Now, look at this. He's keeping those Stalkers out in the front.
Coolma just subscribed.
And thank you, Xcoolma. Just pause that for now. And yeah, so anyways, we have some Zealots coming out here trying to get some harassment. There were some Banelings in there that actually did a reasonable job of softening these up a bit, so we will pull them back for now towards that 5th base location that he's taken. One thing to mention, Solar is on 5 bases. He doesn't have sick creep spread because this area has been pushed over and over. We have Psystorm at this point. We have some Archons. Notice the Archons sitting back. That's going to tank as these run away, right? The Stalkers take the first brunt and then start blinking away. Then you have the Archon to fall back for some tanking, for some damage, and Psystorms. Because the Stalkers are only running if a huge amount is after them, and that's when the Psystorm's going to pay off. So excellent control of this battle so far for MaxPax. Archon gets popped. MaxPax backing up. Those Lings are going to unfreeze soon. He may want a position to kill them. Little Zealot harassment on the 6th base that Solar's trying to take. Looks like that'll be canceled. Nice. Excellent, excellent game here. I believe we might have a Prism that tried to enter. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so it looks like he tried to get some sort of Prism harassment. Didn't work out this time. Greater Spire is on the way for Solar as he prepares for the next stage of this game. And it's funny because you see the Greater Spire as well as Carrier Tech coming up at the exact same time between these two. So, you know, there's been a lot of scuffling. There's been a lot of pressure on both sides, a lot of back and forth, specifically in this area. And I think both of them are looking at it and saying, I don't think I can kill him right now. Now, if one player was to kill the other, I actually think it would actually be MaxPax. Like, I don't think we're anywhere near Solar killing. But MaxPax is being pretty darn cost efficient in a lot of these fights, right? So, you know, Solar still has an okay bank, but look at that. He loses a hatchery. These stasis wards have done a magnificent job of keeping the main part of his army alive. Seriously, man, stasis ward is such a good spell. It's been the most underrated spell since it came out and continues to be, even though everyone uses it all the time. It's like, it's a ridiculous spell. It is ridiculous. Anyways, we have these Zealots over here to the side. They did cancel that 6th base for a second time. Those will get cleared in a matter of seconds. Heavy Archons at this point. There are Corruptors coming out. Now, these Corruptors coming out, I think they're actually just going to become Broodlords. You don't really need Corruptors right now. Like, I mean, you could hunt the Colossus, but, like, you have Vipers anyways, so who cares? At this point, I want the Vipers to be harpooning the Archons and start picking those off with your slightly heavier Roach comp, because he has some amount of Roaches. It's more Lingbane, but, ooh, very nice cleanup there. Anyways, the first carriers are coming out. There's those 7 broods being morphed as anticipated there. This is a solid army coming up from MaxPax, but honestly, 7 broods adds, I think, exactly what he needs to have a chance to hold this. But he, okay, there's the Yanks. There's the Yanks. Some good storms go down, trying to kill off both of these Colossi. He gets rid of the Colossi, but he takes a lot of damage there on his Roaches. And we have another attack down here, re-denying this base. MaxPax's multitask here, out of control. Where are the rest of his broods? That's 1 brood here. He has 7 broods. Okay, here come the rest of the broods. Yeah, it looks like he will be able to hold on to this base. There's Zealots coming up. The Zealots are not good against this. He's going to pull those back immediately. He's trying to pick off what he can with the carriers. I think the carriers are a slight surprise here to Solar. GG is called. And rightfully so. Very well played game. Very well played game.
Inglorious_Staffords just subscribed.
Glorious Staffords. Thank you. Good name. All about that fourth while harassing. Yeah, well, this is the difference, right? Like, if you're really confident in all the different aspects of your game, you can do things like expand while pressuring and keep your units alive. And then when you are like a lower level, you wanna just get it into an attack where you have some sort of chance of winning. But when you calculate like how much it costs for these things, it's hard to say that the extra 4 stalkers are better than the Nexus, right? But you have to play completely different if you're going for the Nexus. It's a much harder game to play than the attack. But as you get better and better and better, you have to do more and more and more. This is my pleasure guy in the chat. We are going to be getting into game number 2. Great series. Great game. Great game there. Just fantastic.
A man at a blackboard giving a complex mathematical explanation of how a game having functional unit pathing makes it bad.
That's good. I like that. Thank you, Tungar. I hate when shit goes exactly where you want it to, when you want it to. Did you notice how everything they wanted to have built? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Who even wants to play a game like this? Oh, the building's made terrible design. Terrible design. Ooh. When's the last time I played StarCraft 2 for fun? Oh, I don't play StarCraft games for fun. People who play StarCraft for fun are actually fucking crazier than I am. Who thinks this shit's fun? You kidding me? Watching it's fun. Playing it? You actually think that's fucking fun? Jesus Christ. Hey, Artosis, when's the last time you went to the dentist's office for fun? I'm like, well, guy, that isn't... You go to the dentist's office for health reasons. Not because it's fun. You play StarCraft because it's hard, not because it's fun. Yeah, imagine thinking StarCraft's a game. Jesus Christ. All right, guys, we're getting into it. Game number 2.
What? Don't Defense cheered. X300, hey Artie, someone tweeted this. What's your take? I hope Microsoft actually properly remasters Brood War. BW is like chess. It was magic. Update unit pathing and all the bugs too, then balance the game. Add an easy mode that has unlimited selection. Keep 12 selection for esports. Acidisco just resubscribed for 5 months. CS 1.6 updated to 2024.
What is my opinion on that, Don't Defense? That statement? It sounds like the dumbest YouTube comment I've ever fucking read. It sounds like if I met that person, I would lose IQ points. It sounds like so many things that are on the internet. People talking about shit where they have no idea what's going on. None at all, but they have this huge opinion that needs to be said. It's wild. All right, we're in game number 2 of Solar versus MaxPax.
What? Don't Defense cheered. X333, it was retired liquid ret.
Eat shit, rat. You're dumb. Oh, man. I'm going to fucking make fun of him for that one. All right. Thank you very much. Rat's a good friend of mine. But maybe not after he said something that stupid. All right. So, what are we going to see this game? How does Solar change his play to beat MaxPax? Honestly, I think it might be in early mid-game. Maybe he needs like a little plume of lings to slow the third, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But I wouldn't mind something like that. Solar generally, like, here is actually a really interesting thing that I talked about with State a few years ago. Because Solar... Okay, so Solar nowadays has won a GSL, okay? He's had better results more lately. Solar had like a fucking 6-year period where he never made it out of the round of 16, okay? And he had results that went up and down a bit. So Solar, basically, here's the thing. When Solar plays his natural style, this again, I'm trying to rehash a discussion I had with State, right? He casts GSL with Tasteless now. You guys, I've cast with him plenty of times. You guys have seen him around. He was a pro gamer back in the day too. But basically, Solar's best success comes when he plays his own style, which is naturally more aggressive. It's not just counter, like, it's not just block everything and go into late game. That's Serral. Right? Serral can do that against everyone and win. That's not really Solar. You kind of have to play to your own states. Okay, hold on. We'll do that after. We'll do that after. Anyways, so if he plays his own style, which is a more aggressive one, that's generally where he succeeds a bit more. And there was a change in Solar before he won his GSL. He kind of went back to some more aggressive plays. And I think that's like an important thing. Like, for instance, a lot of his ZVPs that I've seen that have been really, really good, and it's not that he can't play these games where you block everything and then you out-macro your opponent and you kill him. But again, you have to do your own thing. You can't copy someone or play off style a huge amount of the time and be a champion. Like, if you want to be the best, you have to bring your own shit. It's a very important thing. But anyways, some of the most impressive things I've seen from him in the matchup have been things like a Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager, like very strong timing on like a third base or something like that, right? Where he's bringing the fight to you. He's suddenly massing a bunch of units, coming around with a smart move, hitting you with them, that type of thing. But when I see him in games like he just had against MaxPax, where he's just continually defending, I never feel like he's favored in those games against the best players out there, right? When he's playing Hero, when he's playing MaxPax, when he's playing Creator and stuff, just defending isn't going to do it for him, I don't think. So anyways, that's kind of my take on that. And I hope to see a change there. Okay, a little swoop in there gets 4 drones. Nicely done. We have the Forge and Twilight coming up. That third base is going to be finishing now. Probably Blinken +1, and we'll see if MaxPax he adds his 3 gates and 4th Nexus while pressuring, you know, that type of thing, gets his Robos going, double Robo Colossus like we saw in the last game. It might just be the same game out of MaxPax. You know, it's a possibility. And then for Solar, he does have that 1 Evo coming. I'd imagine it's going to be +1. +1 melee. There it is. I like it. I like +1 melee. I think that's the best upgrade for this matchup right now. You can't really beat +1 melee attack for Zerg. Plus 20% damage on Zerglings is pretty wild. If you look at it like that, it's like, damn, what a good upgrade. Now, we got those additional gates on the way. We have a Robo coming up. Now, let's see if he goes for that 4th Nexus. If I'm remembering correctly, that's 1 more gate than he than he added previous game. Few lings coming down. Still droning at home. Just kind of like a medium group of lings out here. We're going to have the lair as well as the roach warren finishing up. And there's that fourth nexus, right? So MaxPax and Solar are both playing very similar games. Okay, there you go. All right. This is more what we want to see, right? Gets the cancel there. Runs away. 10 more lings on the way. Okay. Okay. Even more lings. Second robo comes up. Infestation pit and second evo. Okay. Okay. I think I see what he's doing here. Here's my guess. I think he's going to go hive faster. Baneling Nest. Now, that's actually what I want to see. Double infestation pit? That's a mistake. For sure, that's a mistake. Okay, so the Baneling Nest, that's more on par with what I wanted, where it's like, okay, get that Baneling speed upgrade reasonably fast. Now, is this... I mean, he could make Infester. Like... I mean, that's one way to deal with Blink Stalkers a little, but I think it's just fast hive to get those Vipers out a little bit quicker. Make sure that you're not... You know, Blinding Cloud is okay in this type of matchup, and then, like, obviously Abduct against incoming Colossi. Charge on the way for MaxPax. Little in counterattack here. We'll get that cannon. Double Colossi being produced. And here's this pressure. This is the pressure we've been talking about, right? Where it's like you're taking this fourth base, you're getting up here, but you're not overcommitting. Runs back. Oh, that's a big stasis ward right there. Gets a Stalker, gonna pull back. You don't want them to be grinding you this whole time. Solar's already on 85 drones. Really, really healthy there as far as economy. MaxPax closer to the probe count I was assuming that we'd be at in the previous game, 76. He actually went for like 85 in the previous game. Ooh, all right. I like it. Okay, only gets 3, though. Not as many as he was hoping for sure. Okay, dodges that stasis ward. Very important, I'd say. Baneling speed, rather. Almost here. Gets in on top of some of these stalkers. They start to blink away. Ooh, somehow my eyes missed that, even though that was happening on stream. On screen, rather. Well, both, truly. All right, Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Double Viper. +2, +1 for Lings, almost here. Adrenal is coming. He has a few roaches. Oh, where'd those roaches go? Oh, those were from the freeze. Never mind. Little counterattack comes in. Wow, really abusing surface area right there. Ling, Bane, Roach trying to fight this off, but you can see just how good MaxPax is at pulling back in this position. Now, a big warp in of Zealots. The Zealots charge in here and are going to get mostly surrounded. Down goes this additional base. So Solar's down to 4 base, same as MaxPax. This is not a good sign for him. Zealot harassment doing reasonably well. Picks up 4 and gonna back out. Okay, there you go. There you go. A little counterattack. I like it. Ugh. That wasn't as good. MaxPax gonna try to attack up here with his Blink Stalker Colossus army. Adrenal almost done. Don't forget he has those Vipers now. Oh, that's a big freeze, man. That sucks. Look at his units just like get stuck going around it as well. Single file in almost. GG. Yeah, MaxPax just kind of outdoing Solar there. I feel like Solar, he did a few counterattacks there that looked all right, but definitely was on the back foot for most of that, unfortunately.